Hello friends, it's Jennifer Schurter, your local and resident real estate expert in the Portland metro suburbs, including Clackamas County and the North Willamette Valley. If you're a homeowner in cities like Canby or anywhere in the Portland metro area, you might be wondering, should I sell my home in 2025 or is it going to be better for me to wait? It is a significant decision, there's no doubt about it. And with the market's recent shifts, it's important to have all the facts. But before we dive in, if you find this information helpful, could I ask you for a favor? Would you like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be notified when new content like this drops? And if you have any questions or thoughts, drop them in the comments. I reply to every single one personally. Now let's explore current market trends, interest rates, some alternatives to selling, and even some pitfalls that you will want to avoid. To start, let's talk about a quick market overview and what is going to be happening in 2025. And in order to talk about what could be coming in 2025, let's talk about where the real estate market is right now. According to recent data, new listings in the Portland, Oregon metro area have increased 13.6% compared to last year. And that's indicating that more homes are entering the market. Pending sales have risen by 15.2%. And that reflects that we have a strong buyer interest in the market. The average home price in January of 2025 rose to $600,300, which is a 6.3% uptick from the previous year. However, homes are currently spending about 88 days on the market, and that is longer than in previous years, and that suggests that home buyers are becoming more discerning about the properties they buy and the deals they're willing to make. If we take a look at a city like Canby specifically, the median list price stands at around $673,950, with homes averaging around 113 days on the market. Inventory is at 36 homes, and that is indicating a slight seller's advantage. These trends indicate a stabilizing market, moving away from the rapid pace of sales that we had seen in the previous year. If we look back at the COVID era, for instance, that is when homes were selling so quickly we could hardly keep them on the market. Next, we'll talk about interest rates. That is a huge component of any real estate transaction and is a big function of the real estate market overall. So interest rates, they're really the elephant in the room. Interest rates truly play a crucial role in your decision to sell. And currently, the average mortgage rate is around 6.87. Now that could change. We don't know where it's going to end up in 2025. Some predictions, including predictions from the Mortgage Bankers Association and Fannie Mae, say that by the end of 2025, we could see a stabilization in mortgage interest rates to around 6.5%. But again, nobody has a crystal ball and nothing is guaranteed. And think of this, many homeowners in Oregon and the United States in general were able to secure those historically low interest rates. You remember the 2s, the 3s, the 4s from a few years ago. And if you have those kinds of interest rates, like a lot of people do on your current mortgage, that really can make the idea of selling your home a lot less appealing. It's really hard to leave something that is a low rate and is so cost effective for so many people. I recently worked with a couple, for example, who had a low interest rate. It was around 2.9%. And like a lot of people would be, they were absolutely hesitant to sell because that low interest rate, they were very attached to it, and rightfully so. Selling the home that they were in to buy something else would mean that they'd have to buy a property at the current mortgage rate on the market today, which was much higher than what their 2.9% interest rate was. However, after we sat down and really looked at all the numbers, including how much equity they had gained over the years, and the cost of a new property and all the components that come with that transaction, they found that as they were working to right size into their next property, their monthly expenses actually remained pretty consistent. And on top of that, their new home was going to be a much better fit for their current lifestyle. In addition, we talked about strategies like interest rate buy downs that could help them improve their cost strategy month to month, improving their monthly payment situation. There's a lot of different things that we can look at, and that is just one example of how we can help make things more cost effective in a higher interest rate situation. And remember, it is essential to consider all of your unique individual financial goals. when you are assessing all of these pieces. And as always, it's important to consult with people that you know, like, and trust, including mortgage advisors, financial advisors, accountants, and attorneys, or anybody that is qualified to help you with these big decisions. Knowing what we know about where the market's at and what's going on with interest rates, should you wait or should you sell now? Deciding on whether you're going to sell now depends on a handful of factors. So some reasons to sell now. These all could be reasons that it could make sense for you to consider selling your property right now. First, we have high home values. With the average home price in Portland being over $600,000, there's a very good chance that you could realize pretty significant equity gains. Second, there's still a strong buyer demand. Pending sales increased by 15.2% year over year, indicating that motivated buyers are seeking homes. And third, personal circumstances. If your current home no longer fits your needs, perhaps it's too large and you don't want to care for the property or the structure anymore, or maybe you've outgrown the home that you're in, it could be a good time based on those personal circumstances alone. We have our reasons to sell, but what about some reasons that maybe you should pump the brakes and wait to sell your property? So the first reason you should wait, if you are uncertain about your next move. If you're not sure where you're going to end up once you sell your property, or you haven't really solidified your plans, or there's a lot of things that need to happen before you sell to make your future plans come to fruition, then my advice would be, yes, you should absolutely wait to sell until you have all of your figurative ducks in a row. The second reason you should wait would be any financial considerations you need to make. If you do all the research and you crunch all the numbers, and ultimately selling your home would lead to much higher monthly expenses or significant out-of-pocket costs, or the interest rate that you would have would really put you in a bind financially, then waiting could absolutely be beneficial. And the third reason to wait is the market predictions. Some forecasts are suggesting a slight cooling of the market, with a 0.8% decrease in home values expected between January of 2025 and January of 2026. While that amount is modest, when you have a significantly priced property, that could mean a lot of money that is not going to end up in your pocket. However, we also never know exactly what the market's going to do, so market predictions, just like we see with mortgage rates, are interesting and good to follow in planning purposes, but they're not always completely the written word. So keep that in mind. And remember, every situation is unique, so assess those personal circumstances if you're not sure where to go, and consult with a real estate professional to determine your best course of action. What if there was an option that you could consider that meant you didn't have to sell your property, but you could tap into some equity? How about we talk about reverse mortgages? They're a possible alternative to selling your property. Now, here's the caveat to all of this. I am not a mortgage professional. I am a real estate agent. So I'm going to give you some very high-level details about what a reverse mortgage is, and I suggest you reach out to a lender you know, like, and trust for additional information and to assess your individual financial goals to see if this program could be the right fit for you. If you need a connection to a great lender, my contact information is below, and I'm happy to connect you with some people that I do trust. So for homeowners who are 62 years or older, a reverse mortgage could be an alternative to selling. This particular financial product allows you to convert the equity you have in your current property into cash. And you can convert it to cash without having to sell your property or make monthly payments. Instead, that reverse mortgage loan is repaid when you decide to sell, when you move out, or when you pass away. And just like any particular option, there are obvious pros and cons to each of these. You may find there are more pros and cons that are different for your individual situation. Again, consult with a professional who can advise you on whether this is the appropriate strategy for you or not. As for the pros, first of all, you have no monthly mortgage payments. Second, you can free up retirement cash for things you want to do, like travel. And third, it allows you to stay in the home that you're in. Familiarity is always a very comfortable feeling, especially if you want to age in place and be close to the surroundings that you know best. And some cons to a reverse mortgage. First of all, interest does accrue over time. So that balance that you will have to repay will increase over time as that interest accrues. Second, if you want to leave something behind for your family, a reverse mortgage could potentially reduce the inheritance that would be available to those family members that you have in mind as part of your estate. And third, the fees with a reverse mortgage can be higher than with a traditional mortgage. And what I understand about reverse mortgages today is they are not the same mortgage product that we remember from 20 or so years ago. The program has been completely revamped and it is a lot more favorable and a safer alternative than what they used to be. But again, this is the opportunity for you to ask questions and consult with the professionals who can give you all of the details, and then you can determine if that is the right fit for you at the end of the day. All right, we've talked about several things. We've talked about the market, interest rates, if it's a good time to sell. We've talked about reverse mortgages as an alternative to selling if you're looking to retire. So what else do you need to know? Well, let's talk about, if you're going to sell, some of the big mistakes that sellers make. I really want to make sure that you avoid these because at the end of the day, these mistakes could cost you money or mean that you leave money on the table in the event of an inevitable sale. So if you do decide to sell, having a good plan in place is a very crucial element, but be mindful of these common pitfalls. Number one, overpricing your home. Now is not the time to aim for that ambitious price goal that you have in mind. You might remember 3 years ago when the Joneses down the street sold their house for $100,000 over asking price in a single day. Know that that may not be the market conditions you're going to be dealing with when you sell your property. So it's important to consider the market and what's actually going on, and set your price with where the market actually is today. What you might find is if people think your house is overpriced, then they just won't even make an offer, as is the case and I've seen with multiple buyers I've represented in the course of my practice of real estate. Second, neglecting those necessary repairs. That is the deferred maintenance. So those things that have been neglected will end up costing you a lot more at the end of the day than just taking care of them. If you have the means and the time to do so, absolutely take care of them. And one easy way to get a list of the things that need to be done would be to have a pre-sale home inspection. So before your home even goes on the market and before all your preparation is done, hire a home inspector to come through and take a full look at everything, and they can give you a list of things that are necessary to repair. It's going to make your life a lot easier and know exactly what you need to do to make things happen and to give buyers that confidence that your home is a good investment. Not taking care of those repairs could lead to buyers not wanting to make offers, extended time on market, and even lowball offers. Nobody wants a lowball offer. So third on this list is a poor home presentation. Presentation is everything, and honestly, you get one shot at making a first impression, and you want it to be a good one right off the bat from the moment that those buyers drive up and see your property for the very first time. And it's not just a trimmed yard and good curb appeal, it's also the interior of the home and how clean it is. If it's cluttered and you have a lot of personal artifacts around the property, those are all things that get in the way of a buyer being able to see themselves in your home. And also, personal photos and effects might give them too much information about who you are as a person. And yes, buyers will leverage anything they can to try to get a deal. So if the idea is you want to be able to come in and stand on your own 2 feet, deliver a good product that is as anonymous as possible, then you absolutely want to declutter your personal effects, including photographs of your family, and put them away. Put them away until the sale's done. Yes, it's hard, it's change, but you're going to be moving anyway, so this is a great time to get a head start on putting those things into boxes ready to go when you're on your way to your next place. Number 4 on the list would be ignoring market trends. This is incredibly important. There's usually a few things that I hone in on with clients when we're talking about market trends that are important to watch if you're selling your home. That is what homes are selling for and how long it's taking for homes to sell, and if we are in a buyer's or seller's market. So time on market tells us, like 88 days in Portland, for instance, it tells us that that's about how long it's taking for properties to sell. So as time goes on, we will keep an eye on that. If that time on market increases as your house is on the market, we can safely assume that it could take a little bit longer or continue to take longer for your property to sell. It comes to a point where if we exceed that time on market, there could be a mismatch between your property and its price, and that people aren't seeing the value, and therefore we would need to make some adjustments. So we need to pay attention to those market trends, including pricing. Is pricing moderately growing? Is it staying the same? Or are we seeing a softening or a slight decline? In any case, if we see data like that and we follow those trends, it can allow us to make smart decisions that allow you to attract a buyer in the shortest time frame possible. And the fifth pitfall on the list that you should avoid is not hiring a professional. I think it can go without saying. We just talked about 4 other things on this list that a good professional is going to be able to help you navigate with ease. And navigating all of those things alone can be a challenge, especially if it's not something that you do every single day. If a real estate agent makes it look easy, it's probably because they're good at their job. It doesn't have to be overwhelming, and interviewing and hiring the right agent can be an asset in your back pocket through the course of the entire sale of your property. A trusted real estate agent, somebody like me, I would hope, can help you price your property effectively for sale, can help you stage the property so that it looks presentable and looks as good as possible to a buyer who's going to be coming through. And a great agent can help you market your home correctly. It is so much more than just putting a property and pictures on the MLS. There's a lot more that goes with that as well. It's the negotiation. It's how to handle certain things with buyers, certain resources that you might need in the course of the transaction. And yes, while professional photos are a must, we want to turn over every stone and have your property be in front of as many people as possible in any possible place a buyer may see it. That is the value in hiring an agent who knows what they're doing and has marketing prowess that you can take straight to the bank. So there you have it. Is it a good idea for you to sell in 2025? Or are you more in the camp of maybe I should wait? Would you do me a favor? Leave me a comment. What do you think? What's your situation and where do you think the market is going this year? Do you think it's a good idea to sell, or should people wait because of what's coming around the corner? Which, if you know what's coming, would you let me know? Would you clue me in? And if you're not sure, perhaps you're in the middle, you're on the fence and you're not sure if it's a good idea for you or if you should wait. I would love to help you figure out if making that move in 2025 is the right fit or not. I can help you break down the numbers, explore your options, and create a plan that's going to be the best fit for you and your situation. If you found this video to be helpful, again, if you could subscribe, like the video, and hit that notification bell so that you know when my next video and new content is coming. And of course, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. Remember that I reply to every single one myself. And again, I'm Jennifer Schurter. I'm your local real estate expert in the Portland, Oregon metro suburbs, Clackamas County, and the beautiful North Willamette Valley of Oregon. And if you're planning to make a move or have questions, I sure hope that you'll look me up. My contact information is listed below. And until then, I will see you next week.